You know, in the Old Testament, giants are mentioned many times. Over 22 times I read where giants have been mentioned in specific books, Amos 2, the minor prophet Amos, and Deuteronomy chapter 2. But in every instance when they're talking about giants, and we know the famous one, that's Goliath, that the Bible goes into intricate detail in telling us, if you will, the tale of the tape for the giants. One Egyptian giant slept in a bed that was 13 and a half foot long. That's pretty awesome, pretty strong. Goliath was 9.5 foot tall. One of the giants I read about, the spear weighed 300 shekels. And if I do my math right, that's about 600 pounds. That's a lot of weight. But we see all these details. There was one giant I read that had 6 fingers on each hand and 6 toes on each foot. He just didn't know when to quit growing. But even though we know a lot about the giants in those days, we don't really know much about the giant killers. You know, if you look in the book of 2 Samuel, and of course the famous story of David when the giants were killed, we really don't know much about the giant killers. We don't know their height, their weight, or anything specific about their weaponry. And I think there's a reason for that. It's because it really wasn't them that killed the giant. It was their faith in a God who could do anything. It don't matter if you're 4 foot tall or you're as big as a giant. If you have the faith in God, and if you have Jesus in your heart, you have to understand that there is no weapon formed against you that will prosper. So when the giant comes in your life, and you know we have them, they're not really giants that we can see. I don't know anybody that fits those statures these days, but we go up against some big opponents. Fear, depression, relationships, finances, and we can go on and on. Children, family, careers, and I think the number one giant is addiction. People face it all the time, and it's so hard to defeat. And I'm going to tell you, you won't do it without Jesus. So I think that the way we defeat our giants is to follow David's example. David said, "You come to me with a spear and a sword. Why don't you tell the giant this in your life? But I come to you in the name of the Lord." In his name, there's power. In his name,